Today's video on my 250,000 mile battle bus is what to do if you can't see at night. For some time I've been thinking that the dipped headlights on my car are really not very bright, and as it happens my son's got the same car and he made the same comment, and it turns out that we've both got xenon lights, but it is possible for xenon bulbs to get old and to go off. So what we're going to do in this video is to change the xenon bulbs. I've bought some bulbs from eBay. There's a guy on eBay who had these Osram Nightbreaker bulbs, which are supposedly the best ones you can get. They're about £100 new. I think these are a little bit old, but they are still supposedly factory sealed, so we'll see how we go with them. The access to the bulb on this side is a little difficult because the SBC unit is in the way, but somewhere down there it's possible to see the cover that you've got to take off, and then you've got to get the bulb in there somehow. However, on the other side, the expansion tank for the coolant is in the way, and some people can manage to do it without removing the expansion tank, and others like me with large hands are probably going to have to move that. First step is to make sure the auto lights are off. And that's the cover we've got to take off. Which just takes a small turn anti-clockwise. There's the cover. Incidentally, this sticker just reminds you why you should turn the lights off. There'll be more about that later. With the cover off, we can now see the igniter made by Heller that fits on the back of the bulb. So the next thing is to turn that in the opening direction. So it just takes 1/8 of a turn to free it off, and then it can be pulled off the back, and at the same time it ejects the plug that is its power supply from the ballast below, and the one with the green wires, and that's good that it ejects it because that stops you getting a shock. And there is the igniter. They can go bad. I'm hoping that these haven't gone bad. And I think it's true to say it can go in any of the 4 positions dictated by those claws around the outside. But what is important to note is that the ejection system on the plug, which is that little nylon tag there that pushes the plug out as this unit turns, is produced by these little indentations there, and if you try and attach the plug before you put this unit on, then those indentations no longer line up and you won't be able to get this thing back on. So now you can see the back of the bulb, and it's held in place by, in a way, a lot of headlight bulbs are held in by a couple of spring clips that you have to squeeze together, and then the spring hinges out and then the bulb can come out. So now the spring clips are unlatched from their normal position, and we should be able to bring the bulb out. Here's the bulb. It's a D2S. It's completely unbranded. no idea who made this. It has one cut out there that presumably means it can only go in one way. When you look closely at where the light happens, in that little bubble there where the arc is formed, it looks quite a mess. My initial impression of this bulb was it was okay, but I don't think it is. So gives me some optimism that changing the bulbs might help. So there we are, we've opened the seal on the very expensive £100 bulbs. Although apparently if you buy a Mercedes bulb then it will be £125, and I think there's a fair chance it's made by Osram. So there we are. So they make some pretty big claims for these night breaker bulbs, up to 70% more light. As always, it's the up to, and it's with regard to what. And it's got 5% whiter light. Well, that's no big deal because of course that's all to do with colour temperature, and you can get much higher colour temperatures, but they're not necessarily better for seeing. They only claim the same life as the standard bulb, and they claim that you might be able to see 20 metres more, so we'll see about that. So if we look at this bulb, we see it's very nicely made. It's fully branded, so we know who made it, and the envelope where the light is created is completely clear. So let's hope for good results. So now we have the new bulb in position and the clips done up. You can see that cutout's actually at the top. So we'll just have a quick look around the igniter. These apparently can go bad, but sometimes they bulge, or a bit of a, not sure what's happened there. Colour's not quite on straight. But it basically looks okay. You can buy replacements. Well, I've seen some Chinese ones that still say made in Germany, but they don't have the Hella badge on. They're about £25. It just goes back on with a push and a twist, getting the arrow to 90 degrees, and as I mentioned, you can't fit the plug. It would be easier to fit the plug before you put it back on, but you can't because it's a safety measure, and there's that system for not letting you refit when the plug's connected. And with patience you can connect the plug. Now we should be ready to test. There we are. You'll be able to tell whether they're any better when we try and drive the car at night. And finally we refit the back cover, noting the sign on the top that says top, and also that you need to give it a small turn clockwise to fix it. So now we move to the other side, which unfortunately is the hardest side because the expansion tank is in the way. Now my son had to have a new expansion tank on his car because the tank had gone brittle and this fitting had broken. But mine looks in fairly good condition, so what I've done is pry this clip upwards, and then you can withdraw the expansion pipe, and on the back it's fitted with what looks like a Phillips screw, but actually is one of these rivets where you have to withdraw the centerpiece and then the inner piece comes out. So I pried this up while turning it, and then the whole thing came out, which now means that the expansion tank is free to move. Another rubber fitting down there and another one at the front. So once that's taken out, we'll be able to move this expansion tank a little. And there are the two lower fittings to the expansion tank, and we should now have access that we need. Still not great, but it's better than nothing. This side is fitted with the igniter the right way up. Again, it's a Hella igniter. So this is a Phillips bulb, and is in a very sorry state really. There's lots of deposits on the inside of that arc envelope, and you would hope that replacing this with a new bulb will work well. I wonder if this is even the original bulb, with it being a branded one, whereas the other one is unbranded. On the Mercedes star system, they have a ability to see how many minutes the bulb has been running for, but unfortunately I don't have star. Okay, this is the view from inside the car on dip beam, which is a bit high because the car's on a slope, and on main beam. You can see that main beam adds an awful lot of light. Back to dip. It probably doesn't show on camera, but to my eyes in real life, the light on the left is a bit bluer and the light on the right is a bit more yellow. I've just been using a lux meter on the app on the phone, so I have no idea how accurate it is, but it gives a maximum reading of 350 lux on each side, as long as I look around for the brightest point. This is what I can see on the road, which strikes me as not very much. And then on to main beam, and suddenly you can see. So now the bulbs have been changed for Osram night breakers, and the scene is a little bit more evenly illuminated, and there's no colour difference between the two bulbs. I've measured the lux levels again, and I'm disappointed to find that they're pretty similar to the ones I got before, so how this will work out on a road test I don't know yet. On the road the situation's quite a lot better. The lights extend a lot further along the verge, and you actually feel as if you can see something.